Salima is a front row activist. Wherever there's a problem, there's Salima. And she's the daughter of Faiz Ahmad Faiz. He's one of our revolutionary poets, one of our most celebrated poets. And I particularly feel very privileged to know her. I have some personal anecdotes. Faiz Ahmad Faiz knew my father very well. In the early 60s, I've seen him come to our home. And Salima's mother used to work in this institution called PECHS. My mother was the vice principal of the school. They started with the school, and then it went on to become one of the most important, one of the largest girls' schools. It was a school where Begum Majid Malik was very particular about keeping very good professors and teachers. That's why the standard of the school was what it was because of the quality of women that were there. They were highly educated, they were progressive, and apart from all the teaching and everything, there used to be an annual fundraiser for the PECHS school and college. And Alice Faiz used to have this puppet show. And it was an extraordinary puppet show. It was for a week. And they raised a lot of money. And I know that Salima, as a young girl, and her sister Muniza, they both helped their mother make those puppets. There were so many little extraordinary things that showed the vision of the teachers. It was just something that I've not seen.
And many of those people went on to become very famous. Yes. No, she was one of the people who was helping. And later, of course, she became a very distinguished actor. There was Akbar Subhani, who also became a very distinguished actor. These were school kids.
Yeah.
They were school kids who would come and join in. And it was remarkable how many of them...
And who else? Apart from Samina is very big now. Samina is very big.
You know, she started out in Karachi and at PCA.
Yeah.
So that it's nice.
Irrelevant, yes.
And there were so many things. PCHS school actually became a cultural hub. So it was a remarkable place.
Tell us something about Shoaib. He was also extraordinary.
Shoaib and I knew one another when we were all living in Lahore. And I met him, as in a most cliched way, that we acted in the same play.
Oh.
And I was a student at NCA.
National College of Arts.
National College of Arts. And he had just started teaching in Government College. So we met on the stage of Al-Habra. And it wasn't love at first sight, though we liked one another. And we acted, in fact, in several plays together when it was time for me to go to England and to do art school. And he got a scholarship to go to RADA, to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. So he was there for a year. That is when we got engaged. But he came back to teach at Government College. I continued to finish my education, came back to Karachi. By that time my father had moved to Karachi. And we got married there. And so I was on and off in Karachi after that. My son was born there. And so Karachi...
And your son is also in the arts, right?
My son is in psychology.
Uh-huh.
He teaches at LUMS.
Okay.
My nephew is in the arts, Muniza's.
Muniza's, yes. Stored in the DNA.
Yeah, so we carry on in one way or the other.
And your daughter?
My daughter, Meera, she is right now in England, where her children are going to school, art college actually. But she teaches film, has taught.
There you are.
And yes, so we can't get away from the arts. Lahore at that time, I'm talking about the 70s, was the hub where you had, the people who later became so well known. People like Zuhur al-Akhlaq and Ahmad Khan, Nair Ali Dada, who was a great architect, and so on. And then when I was really teaching with great seriousness, some of my students went on to have international careers. People like Shazia Sikandar and Rashid Rana and Imran Qureshi. And I'm really proud of this whole generation that has done Pakistan proud. Whenever people moan and groan about how bad things are, I say no, not in the arts. I must say that in Pakistani art, contemporary art, we are among the best in the world.
And not only that, but it's also it's also recognized internationally now,
Absolutely.
which is such a brilliant
Absolutely.
thing. We live in New York,
Yeah.
and I see it. That India has bought so much. Actually, India started buying Pakistani art from the early 60s and 70s.
Yes, yes. And they've continued to do that.
Yes.
But it has been wonderful because recently I curated an exhibition of young artists from South Asia. And it gives one great pleasure.
Where did you curate it?
This is in the School of Oriental African Studies
Uh-huh.
in London at SOAS.
Oh, wow.
And my co-curator is a young Indian curator. And it's wonderful that you have young Sri Lankans, Pakistanis, Indians, Bangladeshis, Afghans,
Which is so
Nepalis
important.
showing
It's like a bit of a sark.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is exactly its arc, and it delights one because these young artists have so much in common. They've seen the same kinds of problems, poverty, conflict, struggle, and yet you see the beauty they produce and the thoughtful work that they produce, and you think there's a lot of hope for South Asia.
Oh, yes.
I think that people want to see what the young artists are doing. You know, apart from the big names, which of course we're very proud of, but when you see that the young people are equally accomplished when they use, well, technology, their videos works, they use textiles, there are wonderful works in which art into textile is there. There's sculpture, there's photography, and you really feel, I at least feel very inspired, and I feel that my life has not been in vain.
No, hardly been in vain. You and your father, from starting with your father, contribution is enormous. You go down in history as really a phenomenal family because normally it doesn't happen that way. There are not that many intellectuals whose family are able to carry on that name.
I think he was special because he believed in being inclusive, and we were never told what to do.
Salima, whatever you people have done, it's all in the DNA. I don't think it is only the freedom. It's very much your DNA because the quality of work that you people have produced. I mean, and you would not have also been able to sustain the reputation for yourself had it not been a natural kind of a thing. You can't just start painting because, if you're not part of it.
That's very true.
So it's a lot to do with DNA, so that goes to your father and your mother.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the tradition of keeping it all, the atmosphere in the house.
I think the fact that we live in homes that are multi-generational.
Totally.
You know?
But also as a family, it's different because there are a lot of intellectuals in the world, but after the main person, you don't hear anybody else carrying the name of the way you people have done it, and your younger people are going to carry it on.
Yes, I hope so. I hope so.
But what's always fascinated me that your mother, Alice, was English, and she and her sister, Salman's mother,
Yes,
what was her name?
Chris.
The two sisters came to live in Pakistan, married two friends.
Yes.
And then, and their children have done so well.
Yeah.
You and your sister have done, we've talked about that. And Chris's son, he became the governor of one of the most important provinces in Pakistan, the Punjab.
Yeah.
But I used to have a lot of respect because he was bold and he had the ability to think big in the sense that he thought that our own culture has to be blended with the West, and our education and everything should be such that our people can be comfortable in the East and West at the same time. It is so important because I live abroad and I've dressed up from my Shogul was in the diplomatic service. I went to Spain in 1970 and I've never thought of changing my way of dressing or whether I spoke English more than I spoke Urdu. It didn't matter. My mindset was always rooted to where I belong. And that gave me, actually strengthened my position.
I often think about how my English grandparents must have felt, daughters, the other end of the world.
Two daughters, not one.
Two daughters, both marrying what were then Indians. But what was remarkable, I think, about both these women was that how they took to the local culture. They both became Muslims. They changed their dress. My mother spoke to me only in Urdu until I was 5 years old. That was because both my parents decided.
But how did she learn the Urdu?
She learned Urdu when she came here. My dadi, because when she was asked for permission for the marriage, she took a long time to get used to the idea. And then she said, okay, if she becomes a Muslim, and if she learns Urdu, then that was okay. So it took a year or two. My mother came actually for a holiday.
Oh.
And she met my father and never went back.
Oh. Uh-huh.
So that was that. And my uncle's marriage, nikah, was performed by Dr. Salima Hashmi. And my parents' nikah was
all the key names.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the nikah nama is a very progressive one that the Allama made out for this couple, that the woman should have the right of divorce.
At that time?
At that time. That she should have right to the children in case there was a separation. And that the marriage should be a monogamous one. This is in the nikah nama.
Wow.
So when my parents got married, and the nikah was, Sheikh Abdullah, the nikah nama was exactly the same, on the same lines. And since then, actually, in our family, that nikah nama has been followed, where the woman gets the full rights. It was decided by Allama Iqbal and has been followed by all the women.
And nobody knows about these things.
No, very rarely.
Yeah.
We understand that that was because he felt that, the wife was coming from another culture. So he told Dr. Kasi she has to be given full protection. And it's very wonderful that he had such regard for the woman in this, in this marriage. And so I was brought up, very much. And my parents decided to make the children first firmly entrenched in this culture before we were exposed to another, gave us a kind of sense of stability. And that has remained, I think it's helpful when families pass on traditions. We have lived in a joint family system. I think that this multicultural, multi-generational input in a family, I think it just enriches it. And what children grow up with is, number one, a sense of tolerance, because you always are aware of other people around you, people who are older than you, people who are younger than you, and that each person has to be given due respect and due space. I think it prepares you for life's problems. I feel tremendously happy when I think about how my children actually grew up in this atmosphere. I mean, when people talk about, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationships, well, I had a great one with my mother-in-law. I just feel that it's having this feeling of making a home not a place of contention, not a place
Beautiful,
of conflict,
yes,
but a place of refuge. I think that is, if children grow up with that, they do that in their workplace.
Those children are very different from others.
Yeah. They do it in their workplace also. They create calm rather than conflict. And I'm glad to say that both my children are of that.
How lovely.
Which is
Lovely.
very nice.
They look wonderful, yes. And then you have a daughter-in-law yourself now.
I have a daughter-in-law
and I know that you have a
myself,
good relationship
and
with
we
her.
have great fun together. So I remember recently I was at a function where somebody who knew my daughter-in-law, she came up to me and she said that, I'm Anila's friend. So I said, well, Anila is my pal. So she said, yes, I know. When I hear other people talk about their daughters-in-law and I hear you talk about your daughter-in-law, there's a marked difference.
Of course.
So I said, well, she is my friend.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful that we have this, because their children are my grandchildren.
And your life is so much at peace.
Of course. And as you grow older, you need your children.
And you know what? And your son is so much at peace. Your mothers don't realize how much agony they put their sons through by not being easy with your son's family. I've always felt that. And when it comes to me and Shaukat, I've always felt that she must have the right, because Not only because she's on her own, but because that's her son.
Yeah.
You know, and creating problem in that relationship is just I find it very cruel.
Yeah. I totally agree with you because it's so much nicer. I think one should look at the next generation, the grandchildren, and how they relate to Nani and Dadi. And I think...
And they have to grow up seeing it.
Yeah.
Just talking is not enough.
No, and both the Nani and both the Dadis give them different things in terms of stories or, values or things that they can be proud of.
And also just being there.
Yeah, simply.
Just the value of having the old relationship before they go. What a privilege it is for children to grow up with these relationships in life. Otherwise you keep hearing about it.
And I was a working woman. My daughter-in-law is a working woman. The feeling that somebody can be at home who is, there for them.
You feel safe.
Yeah, you feel safe. And I can't, I'm a real, how should I say, proponent of the joint family system. Knowing that doesn't work for some people, but also knowing that it's worked wonderfully for myself.
Yeah. It's very, very important. And it's a tradition, this part of the world, we still carry. And actually with all the financial problems, a lot of children are coming back to their parents or in-laws or whatever, and going back to the traditional way of living, which is it's a beautiful way of living, absolutely. And a secure family, an extended family, there's so much to it. The people who don't thrive on all that, they don't know what they're missing. And Salima, I've not asked you what you've been the former principal of the National College of Arts, but then what have you? What are you doing now? Because you're still young, vibrant. I don't know how old you are.
I'm very old.
You don't look it. You don't look it. So,
yes. Well, when I retired from NCA, my friend Mona Kasuri turns up one day. So this was when she was starting the university, Beacon House National University, as it become, and now very well known. And she said, I want you to join me and be the founding dean of the School of Visual Arts and Design. So I said, well, I'll advise you, but what do you want from me? So she said, I want the rest of your life.
Oh, wow. So you have a permanent job now?
So yes, even though I was the dean for 11 years, I set the school on its feet. Of course, I had a marvelous team, a dream team. Consisted of people like Rashid Rana, Homa Mulji, David Aylesworth, Malcolm Hutchison, Gwendolyn Kulik. A multinational group of teachers, which is always the key to a really good program. And then after 11 years, and we had Vice Chancellor, Sartaj Aziz Saab, who was a wonderful Vice Chancellor. And then after 11 years, I thought I should step down, but then they made me Professor Emeritus.
Mm-hmm.
And I look after the scholarship program, and especially the Madanjeet Singh Trust, which brings students from all over South Asia to us. So in these 20 years, we have graduated 100 young artists from Maldives across to Afghanistan, all 8 SAARC countries.
And imagine, most of us don't know about it.
2,000. It's more than that, going on to 3,500. But at
tell me the name of the university.
Beacon House National.
Beacon House National, yeah.
BNU. And the School of Art and Design is its flagship.
Wow. Incredible, incredible.